we just talked to Coach, and he was talking about penalties, wanting to clean that up. Obviously, there's a lot out there tonight. What do you guys do as players going into this week? How do you clean that up and stay disciplined?
Yeah, I think that word alone, what you said at the end there, is the biggest thing. It's just discipline. During summer, fall camp, we harped on it so much, being the most physical team, being the toughest, being the most disciplined. And those penalties, I mean, yeah, they could go either way. Like, oh, maybe that wasn't a penalty, but don't leave it in the ref's hands is, I think, the biggest thing. And so I think just being disciplined will help clean that all up. We need to go in with the mindset of, if we do that, that's going to cost us a game eventually. Today we came out, I mean, they punched us in the mouth. They did. I think everyone could see that. But, we stood back up, we locked in, we made plays. And that's what we have to do. And I think knowing, hey, if this can cost us a game, then we can't be doing it. I think that mind process or thought process will get to everyone, so we are more disciplined going forward throughout the year.
You had incredible body control on the sideline to stay in bounds. You're trying to stay in bounds, but what goes into that? What goes into that type of body control?
Lots of training, I guess. When I was young, I wasn't even thinking, oh, I need to stay in bounds. I was more like, okay, I know this guy's coming at me. I'm just going to secure the catch. He hit me. I stood up, looked down, and I was like, now I got to try to stay in. And as soon as my right foot, I looked down, saw green, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get in that end zone.
Okay, so you did that. Then you also had one of the cleanest hurdles we've seen at Bobcats. What went into that to try to make that play?
That was a lot more film review.
Yeah.
We watched film for the past 2 weeks on these guys. And when those DBs got in one-on-one situations, they like to dive low, not even just kneecap or hip, but at ankles. And so as soon as I ran clear and I saw him, I was like, well, I'm not going to slow down, so he thinks I'm going to do it. And so I just ran and just went forward.
How many times have you hurdled somebody in your life?
0. I tried a couple years ago, I believe. Did not work. And I said, you know what, might as well go for it. Paid off.
All right, 1 for 1.
Joe, the offense, for over 400 yards. I know there's some, but what are some things you think this offense can do better as y'all head into UTSA?
Yeah, I think, coming out tomorrow, we'll see it in detail. But, receivers, we really focused on perimeter blocking. We're going to block, and, there's tons of times where we could have blocked better. There's tons of times where there was a couple drops that we had where we need to make those plays. It doesn't matter how hard that catch is, we got to make them. And I think that the offense, we come together when we need to, but we need to be together throughout the whole thing. And so I think that's a big thing we need to focus on. Not about yards, touchdowns, is we need to come together and say, hey, no matter what the score is, we're sticking together, we're not going to blame each other.
Having Jordan and RJ both at quarterback, just how do you think they performed and just how different their styles of play are?
So Jordan started the game, was doing really well. RJ came in, he rips the ball. He can throw that thing 80 off his back foot. But Jordan, I think, is a little more savvy getting in and out of the pocket. Like RJ, he had some great runs today. But, I think Jordan, when he's rolling out and his eyes are downfield, he knows, okay, I can put it in this area. Meanwhile, RJ is like, I can fit it into this hole right now. And so I think both are, insanely good to have on a team. It'll be interesting and quite honestly kind of fun seeing how it's going to progress going forward with those two.
As good as it is to play 2 quarterbacks, did it mess with the momentum at all when there was that quarterback switch?
I'm sure from the outside view you could say it did. From the inside view, it could have gone either way with the same quarterback in. So that's something I can't really answer because we'll see tomorrow if it really did, but I think that either thing could have happened with either quarterback.
You had a really good second half. We talked to Coach Kenny a little bit about the mental fortitude of having a guy like you on the team that is able to do that, but as a receiver, you're kind of at the will of the quarterback to get you the ball. How do you stay patient?
Doing my job, if I'm blocking well on the outside, on the perimeter, even if when I go in to block a linebacker, if I'm blocking well, then they're going to have to be forced to start loading the box more, give me more opportunities one-on-one. And when we needed, I talked to Jordan, I believe it was right after his pick, and I said, listen, you're going to go out there, you're going to dog out. I promise you, I'll get open, give me the ball, we'll make something happen.